Atz Kilcher from Alaska, the last frontier, is making headlines for the despicable things found in his barn. This discovery came as a great shock to everyone, because he had lived a quiet life for a very long time. What do you think the authorities saw in Atz Kilcher's barn that made the headlines? Get ready to find out in this video. Before the great revelation, kindly like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Atz Kilcher, one of the cast members of Alaska, the last frontier, hated the limelight. He hated the attention and tried to live his life privately. However, beneath that privacy was a man who might have harbored dark ideas and schemes. For a very long time, Atz Kilcher stayed in his barn, and his intense attachment to it became suspicious. He didn't allow people near the barn, nor did he leave it for long periods. His behavior raised red flags and eventually led to an investigation. What was revealed wasn't pleasant. In the barn, investigators saw, wait a bit. Did you know that not long after this revelation, Atz nearly lost his life? Shocked? Let's dive in so you can get the full details. When Atz Kilcher joined the show, he tried his best to show viewers his core values, one of which was his deep commitment to family. Watching him play with his children and make time for them meant everything to his fans. They loved seeing him navigate life through every storm. This hero who conquered the Alaskan wilderness with rare bravery. People adored him. However, what many don't know is that recently, Atz has been struggling to overcome serious personal challenges. His life has been filled with one unfortunate event after another. Public crises piling up relentlessly. This is wearing Atz down, though he's doing his best to hide it from his audience. According to rumors, these misfortunes aren't random. Many believe they're clear warning signs of Atz's deeper, hidden struggles, especially the emotional scars he's kept concealed from his family. And fans, Atz always projects calm and control. But life had other plans. As he progressed through the seasons of the show, he became increasingly vulnerable. Someone once said about the reality series, "We saw the drama and the danger, but we never saw the warnings." Those words perfectly describe Atz's current reality. Your favorite cast member is on the verge of a complete breakdown. Will he open up or face the storm alone? What do you think? Later, fans began connecting Atz's troubles to his legal woes. While working on Discovery's Alaska, the last frontier, he built a strong reputation and became widely known. And with fame came the high cost of lost privacy. But Atz still isn't ready to let others into his pain. Rumors suggest he's shouldering this burden alone to protect his public image. The show follows the lives of the Kilcher family as they live in one of the most remote parts of the Alaskan wilderness. Viewers watched as they survived without modern technology, embracing a life of hunting, farming, fishing, and self-reliance. Atz made sure fans saw him as a provider, someone who could always take care of his family, but that image became his greatest obstacle to asking for help. Known for handling it all, he believed seeking support was a sign of weakness. Atz's fearless nature also led to serious problems. No one saw his pain. No one witnessed his tears. He was the tough guy who had it covered, the man everyone looked up to. During recent analyses, many fans said they believed Atz showed no fear on camera. He'd scale cliffs without hesitation, build cabins in isolation, and hunt in sub-zero temperatures. He seemed unstoppable and made sure no one saw his flaws. But behind the cameras, Atz's world was crumbling. Rumors say his life took a sharp turn, for the worst recent events left him unprepared. And even his love for wilderness living couldn't save him this time. By the last season, Atz's struggles were obvious. Fans noticed he seemed unlike himself, withdrawn, distracted, and far from the composed man they knew. After the season ended, comments flooded in. People were deeply concerned for his well-being. Soon after, the truth surfaced. Off-camera, Atz was battling severe legal and health issues. The weight became so overwhelming that he felt he had no one to turn to. And then, as if life hadn't tested him enough, Atz Kilcher suffered a nearly fatal accident. On the day of the incident, Atz was hiking in Otter Cove. While enjoying the trail, he fell from a cliff nearly 40 feet high. The fall was so severe that many feared he hadn't survived. His fans were terrified, but Atz lived. However, he sustained devastating injuries that shattered him physically and emotionally. He broke his arm in the fall. At the hospital, doctors discovered punctured lungs, broken ankles, fractured hips, and cracked ribs. For Atz, it was a life-or-death situation, and he spent weeks in intensive care. Months later, he was still recovering. Getting back on his feet proved incredibly difficult. Now, reports say Atz Kilcher will eventually walk again and return to normal life, but full recovery could take years. After the accident, something inside Atz changed. He bottled up his pain and sank into depression. Traumatized but silent, he hid his suffering, not realizing it was also affecting his family. With so much going on, fans grew curious. This wasn't Atz's first hike, so how did such a terrible injury happen? Let's go back to the beginning. On that day, Atz wasn't alone. He was with his friend Mark. They were so absorbed in the hike that they didn't notice darkness falling. In the dim light, Atz lost his footing and slipped off the cliff. By the time Mark reached him, the damage was done. Thankfully, Mark had a satellite phone and called for help immediately. A rescue helicopter arrived in time to airlift Atz to the hospital. Though Atz tried to downplay the accident, fans knew the truth. Many said if Mark hadn't been there with that phone, Atz likely wouldn't have survived. Shockingly, Jane Kilcher, Atz's wife at the time, had no idea. She was at home waiting when she received a middle-of-the-night call with the devastating news. She later said it was the last thing she ever expected to hear. When she saw Atz in the hospital, she shared the story on Facebook. Support poured in from around the world. After his discharge, Atz kept fans updated, posting X-rays, recovery photos, and heartfelt messages. A year later, he shared another hospital image with a caption so raw and honest, it brought many to tears. He described the accident as a humbling experience, acknowledging how hard the past year had been, yet expressing gratitude for his family, friends, and fan support. "Your messages gave me strength," he wrote. Though his injuries were healing slowly, they forced him to step back from hunting, building, and filming. His self-esteem suffered, and he withdrew further. Eventually, he took a break from the show, sparking widespread concern, but he stayed connected online, sharing his journey while rebuilding his confidence. Yet, just as he was healing, Atz faced another crisis, this time legal trouble. After his recovery, he sued Otter Cove Resort for $100,000. Claiming the accident could have been prevented with proper warning signs, he accused the resort of negligence and called their safety practices deceptive. Given his fame, the case drew attention. The resort denied responsibility, arguing Atz was negligent himself. The dispute turned heated, but Atz didn't win. The resort held firm, and the legal loss deepened his isolation. Then, a new scandal erupted. Not long after, Atz joined a black bear hunting trip in remote Alaska. Excited and eager, he made a critical mistake. He and his group used a helicopter to access the hunting area. In Alaska, this is illegal. State law strictly prohibits using aircraft to spot, track, transport hunters, or move game. Part of the fair chase ethic, someone witnessed the flight and tipped off the Alaska State Troopers. An investigation confirmed Atz and other Kilchers were flown by helicopter to Bradley Lake to hunt black bears. For an episode of the show, the production company, Wilma TV, was also implicated. Both Atz and the network were charged with wildlife violations. According to troopers, a former medic hired by Wilma TV blew the whistle after learning hunting was planned. Without the helicopter company's knowledge, he quit the project and reported it. When authorities reviewed the episode, showing Atz shooting at a bear, they confirmed the illegal transport. The helicopter company admitted flying the crew, but claimed they didn't know hunting was involved. Atz later stated in an interview that producers pressured him to get a bear, even after he warned them it was illegal. "They told me it would be fine," he said. His lawyer argued no crime occurred because no bear was actually taken. But the court didn't agree. Atz wasn't accused of shooting from a helicopter, but of using one to reach hunting grounds, which is still a violation. At his hearing, Atz was respectful and cooperative. He maintained he only used the helicopter to scout land and never hunted during the flight. But intent didn't erase the infraction. Judge Margaret Murphy sentenced him to a $1,500 fine. Wilma TV was fined $50,000. Fans were stunned. Their beloved star, just recovered from near death, was now convicted of a crime. Discovery Channel declined to comment, but kept the show running. Atz went silent on social media, a rare break for someone who regularly shared his life. This absence confirmed something was deeply wrong. The scandal revealed a harsh truth. Reality TV shows only what they want you to see. Though the penalty was light, it damaged the show's reputation and Atz's standing. And just as he struggled to recover, his son Otto Kilcher was targeted online, with cruel rumors claiming Otto had died. Atz, protective of his children, stood by Otto to fight the lies. Atz and Jane had long kept two of their children, Etienne and Piper, out of the spotlight, hoping to shield them from fame's toxicity. But reporters kept dragging them into the media. Finally, Jane spoke out on Facebook. "I know I'm the only married woman in the Kilcher family who won't put my kids on TV, but I loved filming this year." She emphasized their right to privacy. Piper is 14, and Etienne is 16. They're not a secret. We just protect them from internet trolls. You'll only see them on the show if and when they choose to. Fans applauded her comments poured in. "You're a wonderfully protective mother." Later, it was revealed Etienne and Piper did appear, briefly, in the show's first episode, then were kept away by choice. Jane Kilcher is far more than Atz's wife. A registered nurse, hunter, fisher, and homesteader, she's a pillar of strength. She endured extreme weather, wildfires, medical emergencies, and public scrutiny, always holding the family together. Yet, in a stunning turn, after 17 years of marriage, Jane and Atz announced their divorce. Fans were shocked. For years, they'd portrayed a rock-solid union. Jane supported Atz through every crisis. Their love seemed unbreakable. But in a candid interview, Jane revealed the truth. Atz's past infidelities had deeply wounded her. "It was a betrayal that cut deep," she said, voice steady but pained. Still, she remains committed to their children and their homestead. "The land is our legacy. It's where our roots are." She's since focused on community work in Homer, advocating for sustainable Alaskan living and earning even greater admiration. Regarding Atz, she says they'll co-parent peacefully. "We've been through a lot, but at the end of the day, we're family. and that's what matters. Her honesty sparked wider conversations about the hidden costs of reality TV, and through it all, Jane has faced cruel online hate about her looks, weight, marriage. She once wrote, "People say horrible things because we opened our lives on TV. I'm proud to be a Kilcher. If you see trolls, shut them down. It's always untrue. Stop the hate." Jane's resilience is remarkable. But now Atz faces his greatest fear yet. The contents of his secret barn have been exposed. Will this discovery be the end of the Kilcher legacy? No one knows.